Yeah, hello all. I'm Muhammad Salah from MakerGram. I will be the host for this edition of MakerChat by MakerGram, and I think I'm well audible for you all. Yeah, MakerGram is basically an open community platform for makers and hardware enthusiasts to grow further. And this is our fifth episode of MakerChat, where we share and learn from experts from our maker community all around the world. Today we have an exciting session on LabVIEW basics, concepts, and GUI development by Manthan M. Laklani. And he's a founder and technology director, technical director at M Infotronics. And if you are a member of Makergram community Telegram group, you might have already know him very well because he used to share his beautiful works in the group, and he's doing the real stuff a lot, and he's making the real hardware a lot, and we all are very impressed on that side. Thank you, Laklani, for your bunch of information for sharing in the group. And today we are focusing on the LabVIEW basics concepts for all the engineers. It's and as introductory session. And Laklani, I think handing over to you. Yeah, you can start. Thank you.
Hello guys, I'm Manthan Laklani from M Infotronics Rajkot, Gujarat, located, and I'm doing electronics research and development work. And the basic idea about LabVIEW is it's has a GUI development, so we can make a GUI on basis of application related and Android application related, web application related GUI development. So now let's get started with basic concepts and GUI development of LabVIEW. So first, initially, we have to download the LabVIEW Community Edition, because now this is a new version. It is called as a LabVIEW Community Edition 2020. So this year they have released a new version free of cost. LabVIEW is not basically free version; it is a paid version. So LabVIEW has many different categorized product for engineers, students, and institutes for educational purpose as well as industrial purpose. So basically, we have to download a LabVIEW Community Edition first. So we can Google it, LabVIEW Community Edition. Just click on this first link. So if someone want to download the community edition, it is free of cost. So you can directly go through it and download. There are two versions are available. And this is not basically a version. This is basically a categorized two product categories. LabVIEW 2020 Community Edition as well as LabVIEW NXG Community Edition. Both are different thing. I will let you know what are the basic edition and NXG edition. So let's download LabVIEW 2020 Community Edition. It is not necessary to download NXG Community Edition, but we go for LabVIEW 2020 basic version of Community Edition. So let's get download. Simply, you have to first check out this. It is supported OS is only Windows. Linux version is not yet they have supported. So file size is 1.91 GB. And one thing is there, application bitness is 32 bit. So it is also compatible with a 64-bit edition of Windows 7 as well as Windows 10. So you can go for it. No issue with that. So you can download over here. Just click on download. Yes, it needs a NI user account. You can create. It is free, and you can just fill the details of name and email address only. No other things are required. Only first name, last name, email address, and password. You can create the account and go to the login page. They will email you, and you can just log in it. Then it will automatically download the file in zip. ISO format. So you can see over here, it is downloading NI LabVIEW 2020 Community Edition x86. Basically, it is a 32-bit edition, so it will download this file. After download completed, it's easy to install the LabVIEW software. No need to go any extra efforts. So you can easily install it by giving 3 or 4 times next button, and it will give you some user agreements button, so you can directly install the LabVIEW. So basically, what is LabVIEW? LabVIEW is one kind of a GUI development software. You can develop any kind of a GUI based on embedded system, as well as you can go for PLC SCADA system. You all, I don't think you all know that PLC and SCADA system has their own softwares like Siemens, ABB, and all other PLC manufacturers have their own SCADA softwares. So they supporting GUI development for Windows applications as well as Android applications. So basically, LabVIEW supporting this kind of SCADA development system for our embedded system also. So you can go for either Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, in Arduino, Uno, and other Wi-Fi related application you can develop easily, and you can go for hardware interfacing with Uno and other Arduino boards, as well as Node MCU is supported, ESP01, basically ESP8266, as well as ESP32 is supported. So you can go for it. So now basically we are starting LabVIEW software. So you can see over here NI LabVIEW 2020 32-bit edition. So it is starting. So LabVIEW software consists of two parts basically. One is a LabVIEW application software itself, and as well as you can see other things is a VI package manager. This is the most important plugin for our LabVIEW software. So you can download so many plugins related to Arduino, web-based protocols like JSON, HTTP, and all that things you can download from VI package manager. It is a supported software. Optionally, it is installed with a LabVIEW software. So this is the LabVIEW initial. Wait 1 second. Okay, so it is a basically starting screen of a LabVIEW software. So you can create either a new project, or as well as you have, if you have already existing a VI file, so you can go for it. So basically, LabVIEW software operates on VI based virtual instruments. It is called as a virtual instrument. So if you are starting freshly a LabVIEW software, you can create a project as well as blank VI. So go for blank VI. It is a totally blank application. So you can go for blank VI. VI, that means virtual instruments. So basically, LabVIEW software is consisting of two parts. One is a front panel. So you can, if you are opening a LabVIEW blank VI, then you have two main screen. Front panel is there and a block diagram is there. So I have to minimize this all the things. So this is the front panel. Front panel means you are going to a GUI development for this application, and you can right click over here. So you can go for controls. If you are going to work with buttons and LEDs and all that things appear over here, and this is a block diagram. So there is a function. So front panel consists of a controls menu, and the block diagram consists of a functions menu. So these all are the functions of a block diagram, and these all are the function controls, you can say, for a block diagram front panel. Sorry. So these all are the modern controls. You can go for numeric. You can see over here numeric control, numeric indicators, controls, indicators. So basically, controls have two parts: controls and indicators. Controls, that means user have to give the data for to process the any value, or you can say string, timing applications, all that things. So you have to choose one of them, either control or either indicator. Indicator, that means if outside world there is any kind of data or information is coming to your laptop or desktop to the LabVIEW software, so you can either go for control as well as indicator. Indicators are just like a viewable things, so you can view the numeric values over here. So I have put one numeric indicator. So it will indicate any kind of numeric values like floating, integer, double, as well as string format is also there. So we have to just delete it. So if this block, this front panel, you have to put any kind of control or indicator, just right click over in an editor area. You can see the controls menu over here. So there are so many controls for numeric as well as Boolean values, string values, data containers like array, cluster, and all that things you can see over here. The name is clearly visible. Hello?
Yeah, it's clearly visible.
Screen resolution is okay or not?
Yeah, it's well fine. It's well clear.
So you can see all the details over here, as well
Yeah,
as
we can see
icons.
Yeah, we can see it just like we are doing it on our computer.
Yes, completely, not a problem. So you can see modern type of controls: numeric, Boolean, string, data containers, list and tables also are there. Like Excel sheet, we are doing with some subtraction, addition, summation, all that things. Or you can do with list and table box, as well as like oscilloscope. Waveform charts are there, waveform graphs are there, XY related graphs are there. So you can easily go with the waveform type elements from graph controls, as well as some kind of ring indicators, menu ring indicators also are there. Then you can see the layouts. If you know that we have to categorize we have to categorize two things like a string and numeric values. We have to show them separately. So you can go for with splitter bars. So you can either split numeric values on different area as well as string values on different area. So you can see either upward side you can put all the numeric values, and downward side you can put all the string values and text area formats. So this is basically, so I have to delete that. Okay, yes. So this is the all things about front panel, and now we go for block diagram. What is a block diagram? I'll tell you. Front panel consists of a proper GUI elements. So you can see the numeric as well as buttons and all the front panel. Like you can see on oscilloscope there are buttons and potentiometers and all that things you can see over here. But the block diagram, what? Block diagram consists only of blocks. So you can see either a numeric block as well as on block diagram a Boolean block. So we have to wire this all the things. This is a background processing environment, you can say. So all the front panel elements works on block diagram functionally. So you can see programming, measurement, instruments, all the functions are there. We can go for programming section. So you can see
the UIC not visible.
Host is disabled.
Yeah, can you re-enable it?
There is a host is disabled.
Yeah, you can re-enable it.
Okay. Done. So
Sorry.
block diagram consists of a programming part. Basically, structures are there. Ordinary C language, we are seeing that for loops are there, while loops are there, case structures are there, event structures are there. So same basic concepts are there, like a for loop, while loop, timed structure. You can see a timer. You can see on Arduino programming, some functions are related to timing. So this also timed structure are there. You can see other things are event structures, flat sequence, formula nodes, all that things you can see over here. So this is the programming structures. You can see the arrays. You can build up arrays size, index. You can build up with start. This all are basic functions are there. So if you want to know what is any kind of a programming function, so there is a help. You can put it on a block diagram window and just you can click over here. This is the show context help window. So context help is enabled. So just put your mouse cursor over any element. You can see detailed help. So you can see a complete help from LabVIEW side. So you can see what is that element is used for. So if I go for index array, then also it will give you help. So basically block diagram, what is it is a processing elements. So you have to process the any kind of front panel elements. You can either go for it. So now I'm creating a one kind of GUI, simplest GUI, going for a numeric control, because I have to put a numeric value on that. You can see up and down button. You can go for it. So someone asked me that I have to change the format of numeric values, like in floating, double. So just right click on this element. You can go for a representation. There are extended precision, double precision, single precision, fixed point, word, long word. These all are supported formats. As well as you can go for a properties. All the elements have its own properties. You can go for it. So data type, extended precision, single precision, all this you can select. Data entry, so numeric, display format. See, floating point, you can either go for it, a scientific, automatic formatting, SI notations, all are there. Numeric, floating point. Okay. So it will give you floating values. Output side, it will give you 2.565. You can put it over here. So this is the numeric control element. So I'm giving just initial example value like 5. So it has a fixed values in initial startup. So see in the block diagram, there is a one element called numeric control. So I have to add one numeric indicator. Okay. So this is an indicator. See, one difference is that this is a control element. So wiring goes out from it. And this is an indicator, so wiring is inside from it, so we can connect with this. So this is a simple block diagram. You can see a wiring connection is there. So from numeric control, I have joined the wire with numeric indicator. So if I run this is a temporary run button, and this is a permanent continuously run button. You can go for a just simple run button. So see, numeric control value 5 is written over here to a numeric indicator. So if I change it and just click on run button, see the value is updated. If I go for run continuously, it will run continuously. So if I put 7, 8, 9, see the numeric control values is reflected back on numeric indicator. So this is the basic functionality of a block diagram. You have just connected with numeric control to a numeric indicator. So now I have to work on this numeric control as well as numeric indicator. So just right click on wire. You can clean up the wire, so it will automatically arrange. Like, see, I am putting it over here, so it will somewhat awkward to look. So it will clean up the wire, so it will centralize the wiring, as well as if I put over here, so it will clear up a wire. So you can right click on wire, and you can either delete the wire branch as well as recreate it with simple clicking on it and clean up the wire. So it will looks like fabulous. Okay. If you double click on this element, you will redirect it to a front panel automatically. If you double click on, so where your element is there on this whole area, you can identify over there. So now I am going to process some other things. I am clearing a wiring branch. Now numeric in control, I have to go with the mathematical process, like divided by 2 or multiply by 2. So go for programming section. It is a numeric control is there. Numeric, I have to multiply with some integer value. So I have put a multiply element and giving this numeric in control value to first x. That means x is a numeric control, and y, you can just right click on that particular point and create a constant, because I have to multiply that numeric value with 2. So we can go for it, just clearing this wiring, and now output is x multiplied by y. It is giving to a numeric indicator 2. So it will automatically connected. Now we are going to run the front panel. So see, numeric value 8 is multiplied by 16. So you can see 10 to 20, 11 to 22, and all you can see. But this is a fixed value. Someone asking me that if you can put any other value by user control. Yes, you can give it by just right click on it and create a control. So don't have to go for over here and right click on numeric value and numeric control. You have to put over here. It will automatically add that part in front panel. So this is the x and this is y. So I have to rename it with x, and this is a y. So you can multiply x with multiply y and giving the output to numeric 2 value. So now we are running. X is 12 and y is 0. So 12 multiplied by 0 is 0, obviously. 12 multiplied by 5, and see, just it is refreshed by 12 multiplied by 5, it is 16. So you can change the values and giving the output with multiply x with multiply y. So it is giving the output to numeric 2. So these all are the numeric related mathematical functions are there. So you can either go for add, subtract, multiply, divide, quotation and reminder. There are conversions also. You can extend it the value with extended precision float values, single precision float values, long integer, and so many conversions are there. You can convert it to unit numbers, Boolean arrays, 0 to 1s, byte arrays. So respected function is there for each kind of conversion, as well as you can see increment +1, decrement -1, add array elements, all that things you can see over here. Square, negate, reciprocal, sign, scaling values are also there, converted to reading values, and all the things are there. If you don't know about that particular element, just put it over here. So I have to first stop the simulation. Just I want to know about a decrement element, what it does. So I have just click on help section, context help. So you just move the arrow to the element. You can see a subtract 1 from the input value. There is a detail help also. So you can click on it and see the whole description is there for a particular element. So don't worry about any kind of element that you don't know. It will help you completely. So there are numeric booleans also are there, and or exclusive or not. You can go for it. So this is a basic concept of development of GUI. So I am giving you some other example, like I have to remove this all the things. See, when you remove all the elements or any elements from the front panel, wirings will be remaining there. So you have to delete and select it, and you have to delete it. If you are going to Control Z, there is available. So if you are deleting only just X, so wiring is gone. And now you have to click on this and you have to delete the wire branch. Either you can go for a shortcut key, Control B. If you have to remove any kind of wire that is open, and see, now this wire is open, so there is a sign cross is there. That is this wire is connected nowhere, so you have to delete that wire. So just press Control B, so you can delete the wire that is not connected to anywhere. So now going for a new example. So this is the elements are not connected, so we have to delete it. You can press delete button, so it will be deleted. Okay, so I'm now going for a one kind of knob, like a potentiometer. See, you can see values on this knob. This knob is consist of 0 to 10 values. You can see, if I scale it down or up, you can see values on reflection, like some pointed values 0 0.2, 0 0.6, and all that things. You can change the property also. So you can go for a properties and see automatic formatting, 6 digits are there. So these data values are on 6 digits. Data types, data entry, scale. You can see the measure text color. You can change the color also as you want. You can set values on pointed, like 1.0. See, change the value. You can see 0 to 10 only. You can scaling it out this knob, so you can go for pointed values as well as. So scale range is there also. You can go for 0 to 100 and then give OK. So scale is also there, so you can operate to 0 to 10 values. So I have to just scale it down to small, so it is clearly visible. So 0, 5, 10 up to 100. So this is the one kind of potentiometer, you can say, knob. Now I have to put this value onto a simple numeric gauge. See, we are going for a different thing. So I have to, like our bike or a car odometer. So whenever this value is changed, this value also can be changed. So we have to go for properties, giving it a same values, minimum range and maximum range, 0 to 100. Okay, so it will automatically adjust. So now I have two type of block diagram. If I connect this knob output to input of the gauge, it will automatically connected. See, one thing is there, this is a orange color, so it represents double value. If I change the property, numeric values, you can see either decimal, hexadecimal, octal, binary, all the values are there. So it is a precision value, a representation is there. I am go for long values. See, the knob is converted to I30, means integer 32-bit format, but gauge is on double format, so it will show the values but not clearly on a conversion of I32 values to double values. So we have to change the representation of a gauge also. See, as you can see, this is a blue color and this will also a blue color, but if that representation was double format, there is a one red dot is there. That indication represents that input data to the gauge is different formatted to this gauge what is showing. So the input data is coming from knob is integer 32-bit values, but it is now displaying at it as a double precision format. So the format of I32 is somewhat different with double value. So I have to change it to representation value of I32. So that dot mark, red dot mark is gone. So this is a valid format for both input as well as output. So now we are going to run this and giving a start. So if I change this knob to a different values, it will automatically represents on a gauge. So this is the basic concept of this front panel and block diagram elements. So this is a basic thing you can learn easily. Some numeric values are there. You can say multiply, divide, and all that things. You can go for it. Now let's talk about our embedded things. This is a basic thing you can learn easily with no help. You can't have to go for a YouTube videos and all that things. You can learn easily by putting any elements over here and just comparing and just doing a block diagram things and all that things you can see. If I put I am removing this, so one error is there. If I putting on a numeric control over here and see, if I want to connect this, it will not connect because both are controls. So one control output cannot be given to the second control output. So just drag your mouse arrow over here. So you have one error line. You have connected a control to control, chain 1 to an indicator. So you can either convert this knob to an indicator or this numeric control to an indicator. Just right click on that and you have to change the format of that element. Go for change to indicator. So it will automatically change to an indicator, but the format is different. So that's why it is a orange color and this is a blue color. So a red dot mark is there. So we can go for representation and this. Okay. So you can see I have to run it. So you can see the numeric values. Okay. Now LabVIEW is supporting so many functions and all that things. So just I have to attach my Arduino board with LabVIEW. This is the interesting part. So I am concluding this session with just a simple interfacing of Arduino board with a LabVIEW software. So this will funny for you. It is a very interesting thing that everyone know about Arduino. So I have one Arduino with me connected to a laptop and just writing a one simple program for a LabVIEW. See, for LabVIEW, we can connect any our board of an embedded system like Intel boards, Arduino boards, and all other Wi-Fi and Bluetooth boards to a LabVIEW with either go for a Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, as well as a serial communication. So serial communication is there to communicate Arduino board with our LabVIEW software. So you need in older LabVIEW versions, you have to download a Visa. I'm writing exact name of that particular plugin in Notepad. It is a NI Visa driver. In older NI versions like 2013, 2011, 2014, and 2017 up to 2017, we need a separate NI Visa driver to communicate any of our board with a LabVIEW software using a USB either or a serial RS-232 communication. So we have to download this Visa driver software plugin, and we have to install it and enable it from a LabVIEW software. But the now scenario is different. After 2017, 2018, 19, and 20 versions have Visa driver inbuilt in the LabVIEW software already installed with this bundle software. So you don't have to download that Visa driver separately and enable it. So now we are going for a simple program to interface the Arduino board on basic concept. You can go for Arduino separately, plugins are there. So first I have to introduce one other part of a LabVIEW software before going to communicate with Arduino software. There is a VI package manager. This is already installed with the LabVIEW software. All other older versions don't have this VI package manager. We have to download it separately and as well as have to install it separately. So I'm going for a Visa package manager, VI package manager it is called. So it will open. It takes some time because internet connection is required for that Visa. As we are going for tools and library, manage libraries. If you want to download any library, third party as well as contributed library for Arduino boards, you must have a valid internet connection, and you can download and install over here. Same LabVIEW software has a facility to download different plugins for LabVIEW software. See, we have VIPM free edition. So sign in later. I agree. So this is the unregistered version. Search online, click, and you can go for any kind of a LabVIEW. Just clicking on Arduino, just type Arduino related plugins. So you can see over here LabVIEW interface for Arduino, Arduino compatible compiler by publisher of this two guys. Digilent links. This is the intelligent system already is there. LabVIEW Links Toolkit, LabVIEW Community Edition. You can download this plugin for Arduino related work in a LabVIEW. So you can download any plugin from over here. So most installed you can select. So you can see over here, but it is not showing. Yes, most installed version is Digilent Links. Control Arduino, Raspberry Pi, and Beagle boards through IO, SPI, I2C, UART, PWM. All the controlled parts of a particular board will be visible to our LabVIEW software on here, front panel as well as in a block diagram. So you can go for it. So now going for a back button, I have to close. Now just you can search over here Arduino. So it will download the package related our repositories, and it will take some time. So we have to minimize it. Let's begin with our work. So for Arduino serial communication simple, you don't need that kind of particular plugins and all that things. just simple write a particular program in Arduino board, just compile it and upload it to Arduino board, and next we'll go for process with the LabVIEW software. So just I am writing a one simple program, as you all can understand, is serial dot begin 9600 baud rate. It's a common baud rate, and in a loop I'll write serial dot just print ln. For a new line, just I'm writing makergram. Simple is that, and I'm giving a delay of 500 milliseconds. So every 500 milliseconds, the Arduino board will transmit on a 9600 baud rate a simple makergram text to serial port. So we all know that Arduino represents a COM8 port in my laptop. It is a COM8 for Arduino Uno board. So it will transmit this text to COM8 port to outside the world through USB port. So it will the RX0 and TX0. All you can see over here. Serial begin 9600 baud rate. So I have to receive this text on my laptop in a LabVIEW software, that is a makergram. A text is visible in my software. So this is also downloading some repositories. It will take some time, so we don't go for that. So now I'm switching over here to a block diagram and to a front panel. So I have to receive that text from my Arduino board to LabVIEW software. Just click text values. You can see string indicator, because makergram text is in a string format. So we have to put a string element on the front panel, and see the block diagram is consisting of string element. But what about the input of that string? So now I am going to show you one kind of a complex thing, but it is not a complex, but it is somewhat difficult to understand, but it is easy. You can easily understand it. So I am going to minimize all that things, and now going to instrument IO, because Arduino board is one kind of a instrument to a LabVIEW software, because it is physically located outside that this software, and we are not using any kind of LabVIEW or NI related hardware. So it is a third party hardware for this LabVIEW software. We have to communicate Arduino board with the LabVIEW software using a serial communication. So now going for a instrument IO, then go for a serial communication. This 8 block diagram functions are there: configure port, write, read, close, byte set port, break, set buffer size, and flush the buffer. All these functions are available in serial communication function in a Arduino board. Also you can see serial.flush function is there, serial.write, serial.read, all are available in Arduino IDE software for programming. Same thing is over here, like this, all are available. See, this is the basic parameter I have written over here. You can either go for 9600 baud rate or any other baud rate. So we have to configure same thing over here by clicking on it and putting over here. So these have so many connections. You can see, just drag over mouse or this all lines. You can see timeouts, termination character, enable termination, visa resource name. So if you want to learn what all are these all these things, you have to just click on help button and just click on over here. So Visa configure serial port. We have to configure a serial port in a laptop or PC to use with a Arduino board or any kind of serial communication device. So first we have to give a Visa resource name. Resource is nothing but a IO port, or you can see Arduino COM port 8. This is the name of COM port 8. So we have to just right click over there. Visa resource name is visible to you. Right click over there and create a constant, because it is a constant. We cannot give it a like a control. We can give it. You can select either. See, I am giving you one example, so everyone should know. Like create a control. So in front panel, you will get this thing. When you are playing the run button, you can select COM3, COM4, COM6, COM7, COM8 and refresh it. So sometimes the COM port has some errors, so you have to refresh the COM port list and you will see COM3, COM4, COM6, 7 and 8. These all are COM ports available in my laptop. So Arduino board is connected to COM port 8. You can select it and COM port 8. So we have to stop and giving it a fixed value. So Control B to removing this unconnected wire. So right click on that and create a constant. So you can select COM port 8. See, this symbol is there. That means already my Arduino board is communicating some kind of communication is there, like, because I have uploaded this program. See, I have uploaded another program, so I'm just giving it a new fresh program and just uploading to my Arduino board. See, one problem is there, that if you are using an NI software and you somewhat initialize or putting any kind of serial communication element, it will block the COM port 8 permanently. So Arduino board can't be open the COM port 8 device. Access is denied. That means COM port 8 is locked. So I have to remove that thing and just I have to save first this program to desktop, untitled, and give it a name serial. Just save it. We have to firstly close all the things of NI LabVIEW software, so I can upload my program to Arduino board, because COM port 8 was locked by LabVIEW software. Now it is uploading and done uploading. That means my program is written over there and I can see MakerGram string is coming every 500 milliseconds. So my program is uploaded successfully and giving a string of MakerGram and at the baud rate of 9600. So this is the serial monitor. You can verify it. Now I'm going for just see, if your serial monitor also open, LabVIEW software can't communicate with COM port 8. So we have to first close this serial monitor software as well as minimize this thing. And now opening a fresh LabVIEW software again with my serial VI. So now, okay. So this is a front panel and going to a block diagram. Now going to a serial, configure port. Now giving a Visa resource name, right click on it and create a constant. Wait for a while, it is initializing some parameters. Baud rate. Baud rate also a constant value. You can either go for a controlled value like 9600 and other baud rate things. So I'm giving it a constant value. You can either go for a constant value or controlled values. Data bits also a constant value. So I'm putting it over here so it is easily visible. Parity, we are always go for non-parity. So I'm putting it over here and error in. So there is no need to connect this thing with any kind of control or constant value. Now going for a timeout, right click on it, create a constant. So 10,000 millisecond is there by default. Termination character is there, create a constant, that is a carriage return value. And enable termination, create a constant. This is also true because we have to terminate a string with serial print ln line, so it can identify that macrogram string is completed by 010 and 013. So it will include 010 0 cross 10 hex value as well as 0 cross 13. So this is the carriage return and new line. So termination character is enabled, and now this port is configured with the COM8. So I have selected COM8 port. Timeout is 10,000, 9600. You can verify all the things. 9600 baud rate, 8 data weight, non parity, and carriage return is there, and termination is true. So now we have to read the value from serial port. We have to put in this block over here. See, one benefit of this LabVIEW software is this. You have to just put it on nearby with already configure a port. So resource name and error value is automatically connected when you are putting it on near over here. Just click on that, so it will automatically connect these two part, and it is not look like a good thing. So I have to just clean up a wire so it will looks perfect. We can okay. So which port and which port you have to read the values. So visa resource name out will continue to read the values for this block diagram. So configured port COM8, the data will come from COM port 8 and it will be read by this module with this resource name we have already configured. So now this is connected, and if any kind of error will come, it will show you on pop-up window that COM port is not open, COM port is logged, COM port is not visible, or the all kind of error it will show on just a dialog box. So now if you want to learn that what is this thing, just click on context help and just click on it. So visa resource name already is there, error in is already is there, byte count. So this is the most important thing, that macrogram MAKER 5 character is there, and GRAM 5 and 4, total 9 characters are there with the 0 cross 10 as well as 0 cross 30. So you have total 11 characters are there. So you have to put byte count on a maximum readable values, like a create a constant. So I can give it a maximum like a 20 character. So it can easily identify termination in between 20 characters, 0 to 20 character. If it will receive a particular termination character, then it will stop counting and just giving it a output. So this is the byte count thing. Now visa resource name out, we don't want to put any connection with that. So read buffer, this is the output value of serial port. It is giving to us string. So you can see it is a pink color notation. So string, all the string color element is a pink. Okay, so this is a connected. And if you want to check that how many counts or how many bytes are received, you can create an indicator that it will show you that from COM port 8 how many characters or how many data is available on a receiving part. So it will give you a particular byte count. So this is a simplest thing to receive data from an Arduino board. So this all looks very pretty, but if if I don't put this wire and delete it, see, you cannot run the program. List error, you can see visa read contains unwired or bad terminal. So it will give you one kind of error. So if your connection is not done yet, so we have to put, and now you can run the program. So if any connection remains open, it will show you error and you cannot run the LabVIEW program. So now everything is completed with the COM port configuration as well as visa read. String value will be visible to this element, and how many bytes are received from COM port, it will show over here. So now I'm going for a front panel. This is the return count, and I will add this over here. So string is there and return count is there. So I will play run continuously. See, Makergram is showing total 11 character. I show you that Makergram is 9 character and 0 cross 10 and 0 cross 13. Two X values are there. So total 11 bytes are receiving. And you can, if you have Arduino board, that you can see TX light, it will glowing by 500 milliseconds. But if you want to see over there, this error will come because port is busy. So I have to change this, and now see what happening. See, let's see electronics R&D. So I have to upload this program, but I have to stop this. Save all, close it just for a while, close it also, then upload my program, again. So uploading done, and reopen my program. Let's verify it by serial monitor. So electronics R&D is coming from it. Now I have to close and just play your program. It will take some time. See, electronics R&D is there. I have to resize it with proper, so you can exactly see electronics R&D is coming. So total 17 bytes are coming from serial COM port. So this is the basic string or serial communication concept with the Arduino board and LabVIEW software. You can go for Control E, so you are redirected to block diagram. You can either write the port, read the port, and close. If you are putting this close to with read resource name and error out with that, so it will automatically receive one complete syntax with a termination character, and then it will close the visa port. So every time if you are going for a run continuously button, your Arduino board will automatically restarts every string send. So if you are continuously operating, so Arduino board, see, I can see that Arduino board is continuously restarting because Arduino board completely send the data, and NI LabVIEW software force this COM port to close. So see, some time after it will give you timeout expired before operation completed. This error is very much common. You can see on forums and online social media that this error completely headache for our engineers, that it completely runs on some time and then giving this error. You can either go for continue, it will automatically restart the thing, and some after it will give you some error. So if it is not necessary, then don't close the port, and this is the Control B, so we can delete the wires. So this is a simple read program for Arduino board. You can write this string like you can give it a particular numeric control value, to Arduino board. If you have to give one kind of a push button that I have to on off the 13 number LED with this LabVIEW software, so you can give it this boolean value 0 or 1 by serial communication to Arduino board. This is the data, either 0, either 1. So you can write the program for it like void serial event. This is the interrupt function, and you can receive the character if serial dot available, that any kind of data is ready, and give it a character C equal to serial dot read. It will read 1 byte, and if C equals to 1, then operate any LED, and else you can write like a digital write 13 LED low, and for this one digital write 13 number LED high. We have to first declare it pin mode 13 output. So if you are giving serial data 1, the LED will glow, and all other data it will be off. So boolean value is either 1 or either 0, but it is receiving on ASCII format. You cannot write directly 1 or 0 because it is a numeric value directly, but serial communication, in the case of serial communication, it will receive a ASCII string. So you have to just write comma exclamation this sign 1.
Yeah, hello, Kalani.
Sorry.
Yeah, so very sorry to interrupt. We have to start taking the questions at 9:20.
Okay. I'm completing this session with this.
Yeah. I'm just reminding. Okay, thank you.
So this is the basic thing of interfacing Arduino board with a LabVIEW software. If you have any kind of questions and any doubts, just go for a Makergram community and put a post over there, and I will reply. You all reply. And if you want to know something else regarding LabVIEW, just post over there, so we can help. So I'm completing my session with this session. So now I'm closing this all the things. I'm deleting this all the things and closing it down. Okay. So this is the basic things about LabVIEW software. Hope you guys all are enjoying this session. Now I'm.
Yeah, Laklani, it was kind of a very wonderful session. The thing is like, I personally thank you. The thing is like, I'm a software developer basically. So I wasn't aware of a tool like this, which is so much easy to me. If I'm going to write a GUI tool either in Java or any other framework to control a hardware, I'm pretty sure that it will take more than a couple of hours. So the thing is like, what we shown us is kind of very easy. I mean, in terms of when we are taking the considering the time need to be developed in terms of code, it's super easy. Thank you very much for introducing this kind of a tool. And I think we can definitely take some the in-depth sessions on the same thing. And to all, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand and I will unmute you. We have almost 5 minutes to take the questions on live, and other questions we can attend on the community forum.
See, I'm seeing that in the chat there are one question is there. What is the difference between LabVIEW Simple and LabVIEW NXG? See, NXG version is a different thing. So it has not any kind of compiler for microcontrollers and all other hardware things. So NXG is different thing. We have to go just for a LabVIEW Simple version, so you can work with any kind of third-party hardware. But NXG doesn't support this kind of any hardware, serial communication, and all that things. So you have to separately install the plugins and all that things. So you can just type LabVIEW NXG. So it will helpful for you. So it has already one forum questions and all FAQs are there. And so don't need to go for NXG features because simple LabVIEW community edition has all the features available in bundled software. So don't need to go for a NXG version. So this is the different thing that NSG has some plugins are not there, and if you have to install it on NXG versions, you have to download with the VI package manager and all that things. So this is some kind of headache for that. You have to install the other repositories and plugins and operate and install. So this LabVIEW simple software consisting all the things. So don't worry about that. If you have any other question.
Yeah, Laklani, we have a couple of questions. Other questions in the chat I will read out and you can answer them.
Okay.
Give me a moment. Yeah, Hari Govind has another question. That is there any option to get certified in LabVIEW?
Yes. I forgot about that thing. I'm already a LabVIEW certified associate developer. So you can go for a LabVIEW CLAD exam. It is available online. That is a LabVIEW certified associate developer. I already have this certificate. Then you can go for a CLD, LabVIEW certified developer. So you can learn the LabVIEW completely with these basic things and go for a certified examination of a LabVIEW associate developer CLAD exam. It is an online international certification is there, so you can go for it. So there are 2 or 3 exams are there. I have done CLAD, and now I'm moving for a CLD. And this is the next level of CLAD exam. So this is a basic exam, like you all know that CCNA, Cisco Certified Network Associate.
Yeah.
This is a basic entry level certification in a networking area. So CLAD is a basic one second.
Yeah, I think Laklani, I think you may, if it is possible, it would be much better if you can write a post or kind of a blog kind of stuff on LabVIEW and including all the certification options and other things. And I'm moving forward to another question.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from Surya, and he's asking that can we use our custom GUI as an app?
Wait
so
a second.
I think Salman has almost similar question. So I guess the question could be like, can we export the GUI which we built with LabVIEW to a kind of a binary kind of stuff which has a installation, I mean a standalone software kind of stuff? Is it possible?
Sorry, I cannot understand exactly the question.
Yeah, the thing is like we are designing some GUI in the LabVIEW, and is it possible to compile or to do some process with which we can get an output, kind of an executable file or something like that? I mean, a standalone app kind of stuff.
Okay, I got the question. See, LabVIEW Community Edition is free of cost, so you cannot compile any kind of this your program to web-based applications and Windows application as well as Android application. You have to purchase the LabVIEW with the licensed software, and then you can go for a exe formatted application output, as well as you can develop this whole GUI to Android application. So this is just a community edition, just giving free of cost for enthusiasts, interested persons that want to learn a GUI simple and development. So you have to either go for a LabVIEW professional edition or a student edition or a educational edition. So this software, this community edition, you can't get output to any kind of GUI based application. You can just run this whole thing on a LabVIEW opened software, so you can go for it. No, you can't create any kind of exe and Android app.
So basically, it's just a limitation due to the community license.
Yes, this is just for a learning purpose.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I think that's all from the question side, and that's all the questions we have. And thank you very much from the Makergram side, and thank you all the participants for taking your time to join the session. And please do post your question and queries in the Makergram forum, and we can attend that there. If you have any queries regarding this LabVIEW or any other hardware stuff, you can post that on the platform. And thank you, Leilani, for your valuable time and for introducing this kind of a beautiful tool to all of us. I'm pretty sure that most of us, at least me, is not aware of this tool before your session. So thank you very much from my personal side and from the side of Makergram. Thank you very much for taking your time and putting the effort for taking this kind of a beautiful session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, all of you. I hope you guys, all guys enjoyed so much.
Be safe. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.